This
I'm here.
conference will now be recorded.
Claire,
Yes.
okay, and Rebecca. Can't hear you, Rebecca. I think you're on mute.
Rebecca Austin here. Sorry about that.
There you go.
Okay, I'm clicking to go live, everyone. And we are almost there. We are now live.
Okay, this is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2020 at 3 p.m. This is a meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners for a public hearing on community development block grants. I see Commissioner Hunt and Commissioner Hall are both here remotely, as am I, so we do have a quorum. We will now move into our public hearing. I will go ahead and open our public hearing. And Wayne will kick us off with our public notice requirements.
Thank you, Commissioners. And I actually need to read this public notice for the record in its entirety. So this is a public hearing before the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners at 3:00 p.m. on June 3rd, 2020. It's a virtual Board of Commissioners special meeting with a URL that tells folks how to get in on and watch this particular meeting live. We accept public comment at boc@co.lincoln.or.us. Lincoln County is eligible to apply for a 2020 Community Development Block Grant from Business Oregon. Community Development Block Grants funds come from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The grants can be used for public facilities and housing improvements, primarily for persons with low and moderate incomes. Approximately $12 million will be awarded to Oregon non-metropolitan cities and counties in 2020. The maximum grant that a city or county can receive is $150,000 for small business assistance and micro enterprise projects and $50,000 to support public service. Lincoln County is preparing applications for two 2020 Community Development Block Grants from Business Oregon for, number one, the Lincoln County Micro Enterprise Project, including Lincoln County, Depot Bay, Toledo, and Siletz, within the three municipalities and unincorporated areas of the county. And that'll be further explained by Rachel as we go along. The purpose of this project is to support small businesses hit hardest by the COVID crisis in these communities. It is estimated that the proposed project will benefit at least 60 persons, of whom 75% will be low or moderate income. And the project number two, the Lincoln County Public Assistance Project, to provide personal protective equipment, PPE, and other public services in response to the COVID crisis. A public hearing will be held by the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners at 3:00 on June 3rd, 2020 as a virtual Board of Commissioners special meeting. And again, the URL explains how you can actually participate. The purpose of this hearing is for the Board of Commissioners to obtain citizen views and to respond to questions and comments about community development and housing needs, especially the needs of low and moderate income persons, as well as other needs in the community that might be assisted with the Community Development Block Grant Project and the proposed project. Written comments are welcome and must be received by June 2nd at 225 West Olive Street, room 110, Newport, Oregon, 97365, or via email at boc@co.lincoln.or.us until 1 p.m. June 3rd, 2020. You may call 541-265-4100 and leave a message or speak to staff, and your comments will be accepted and transmitted to the commissioners if received before 1 p.m. on June 3rd. Phone, email, and written comments will be considered by the board in deciding whether to apply. Please contact Christy Peter at 541-265-4100 if you need any other special accommodations to provide input to the commissioners. More information about the Oregon Community Development Block Grants, the proposed project, and records about the county's past use of Community Development Block Grant funds is available for public review by contacting the Board of Commissioners at 541-265-4108 or emailing boc@co.lincoln.or.us. Advance notice is requested. Use these contact methods if special accommodations are needed so that appropriate assistance can be provided. Permanent involuntary displacement of persons or businesses is not anticipated as a result from the proposed project. If the displacement becomes necessary, alternatives will be examined to minimize the displacement and provide required reasonable benefits to those displaced. Any low and moderate income housing that is demolished or converted to another use will be replaced. And I do want to note for the record that this particular notice was also produced and provided in Spanish. I'm not required to read that, and I will not try to read that at this point. So I've completed our pre-notice requirements.
Okay, thank you, Wayne. And then next is public or received public input.
Let me first say that we received one fairly lengthy comment in writing, and a copy of that was provided to the Board of Commissioners and is posted on our website. And this particular person, it was Martin Desmond, who's I think the commissioners know from the community here. And Martin wrote to you about his experiences. He had actually worked at a nonprofit called EDEV with the Lane Community College Small Business Development Center, and dealt with a number of these programs, especially the micro business and small business assistance through a nonprofit. And his particular comments to you were concerned with, one, the geographic limitations of the particular proposed project, what we were doing, and the fact that because this is limited to low and moderate income folks, that it's sometimes difficult to find entrepreneurs and businesses that qualify to meet the minimum requirements. The rest of what he has indicated and provided is available to you, and I know that you got a chance to review this if you so desire. And at this point, as Christy can say otherwise, I don't think we received any other public comment for this hearing.
No, I haven't received any.
The one public comment we have received, I did receive and read and respond to. Okay, then moving on to proposed funding projects, actually talking about what we're talking about. I will turn it over to Rachel Maddox-Hughes and starting, and then Wayne after that to talk about the actual proposed project.
Yes, hi everyone. So we are looking at those two separate pots of funding, one for small business support, and this is small business support of approximately $2,500 per position that is retained or created over a 6-month period, and it is to serve low and moderate income persons who are employed by businesses in the county. We have listed Toledo, Siletz, and Depot Bay as partners in this, and what that means, it does not actually mean that our money is restricted to use in just those communities. Those are supporting partners who basically are in support of more money coming into the county for small businesses. In addition, the public service grant will be used for PPE as needed to low and moderate income persons and agencies serving those persons.
Wayne, is there anything you'd like to add on that?
Oh, I think that was, I was hoping to get that explanation on the geographic limitations. It's actually broader than that, what we can actually, the people we can serve and businesses we can serve.
All right, into board discussion and questions. Commissioner Hall, and someone emailed me and said, how come you always have Commissioner Hall go first on these? It's because I go alphabetically, and Hall is before Hunt. So that is why I'm not discriminating against Commissioner Hunt. It's just easier for my brain to go that way.
I thought it was ladies before gentlemen, so I was perfectly happy either way.
Maybe so. So anyways, Commissioner Hall, questions or comments?
What can I say after all that? No questions.
All right, Commissioner Hunt.
I would just like to say that I think Rachel's done an incredible job of identifying opportunities to apply for funds. And I think this block grant, well, I think we know that block grants tend to be burdensome as far as the reporting requirements, limitations on how the funds can be used. But I think in this instance, this block grant seems to be particularly attractive, unfortunately, attractive to our county which has an abundance of small businesses that are struggling at this time, and certainly additional funds for PPE, particularly in view of the recent increase in cases that we're seeing now, again, seems particularly pertinent. So I think it's a good cause. And again, thank you, Rachel, for your hard work.
I would definitely agree with you on everything Rachel has done for us with this. So thank you from me, Rachel. I would just add that while not an official public comment, I think we did have someone reach out maybe last week, just noting that community development block grants did allow for housing related projects. And I would just say that, yes, that is true. And actually the county, along with other city partners, has been looking at a community development block grant. They're not applied yet for a potential housing type of project. However, given the circumstances we are currently in with COVID, we are seeking this opportunity for some hopefully immediate, or as immediate as it can be, relief to those small businesses. So it isn't that we don't care about housing or know that's a need, but we are trying to go after these as quickly as possible to basically supply additional support to small businesses, especially ones that maybe didn't receive support elsewhere. So just a note about that. And I think our plan on potentially going after a similar type of grant for housing has not gone away. That's just a little bit larger of a project and something that was going to take a longer of a conversation than this was.
Commissioner Jacobson, yeah, and just for whoever asked that question, there are 3 distinct pots of funding coming from Business Oregon right now. The first was the matching funds round that came down from the e-board that we applied for and were awarded $120,000 for small business support. This is a separate round of funding that is specifically Business Oregon emergency funding. And then there is a third pot of funding through Business Oregon for their normal round of community development block grants that is inclusive of the housing funds that you are speaking to, and also includes infrastructure funding projects as well.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. So hopefully to the person that reached out with that question, if you need more information on that, feel free to reach back. All right, board authorization to proceed with applications. Question to Wayne. I'm assuming you need a motion here to proceed.
Yes, that motion would be just fine.
Okay. Can someone make a motion?
I'll move that we proceed with the proposed community development block grant application.
I'll second it.
Oh, okay. Seconded by Commissioner Hunt. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Everyone voted aye, so motion passes. Thanks.
Rachel,
and now
you have more work to do.
Yeah. Sorry, Rachel. Now under other business, kind of shifting gears here. This is kind of continuation of a discussion and kind of consensus we had on Monday at our regular Board of Commissioners meeting, which is now potentially taking formal action on that. This is amending Order 32088, temporarily closing Lincoln County facilities and requiring face covering, or making a face covering requirement for people entering the courthouse. I want to make it like super clear. I'll probably say it at least 3 or 4 more times. What we're about to do is for face coverings inside the Lincoln County Courthouse, not for the public in general or everywhere you go. That's a different discussion, and actually we have that slated for our agenda on Monday, so this is specifically for face coverings inside the courthouse.
Chair Jacobson, if I might also clarify that this order applies only to the courthouse and not other county buildings, facilities.
Correct. Yes. Wayne, is there anything else you wanted to mention about this, or do you just need us to take a vote?
Well, maybe just a quick notation that the order that it does carry out your directive from last Monday would require face coverings coming into the courthouse, but also we will develop a specific policy to deal with the exceptions that need to go with any policy that you have. It'll be complementary to the order that the presiding judge issued for the courts and the courthouse. I think that I left it specifically with the date open as to when it goes into effect, so we can work through a couple of the things. It could be as soon as tomorrow, I think, if we can work through some of the details we have to do. And you would be delegating to the sheriff with working with county counsel's office to flesh out the remainder of that policy to make sure that's clearly understood. We will include some signage to make sure people know as they come into the courthouse that they're required to have face coverings. And we are, I know that we have we will be providing face coverings at the security station there. So if folks don't have one when they're coming in, we will be able to provide one to them.
Okay, thank you. All right, would someone like to make a motion?
I can't read it, but I guess I'll move that we approve the order authorizing the order requiring face coverings to individuals entering the courthouse, Lincoln County Courthouse.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and adjourn our next Board of Commissioners meeting Monday, June 8th, 2020 at 3 p.m. And again, that will be virtual. All right, thank you, everybody. We are adjourned.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.